Hello everyone, it's Al Nygren back with a series of filmmaker interviews to promote the 2016 New Jersey International Film Festival, which will be taking place between June 4th and June 18th at Rutgers University in our state-of-the-art facility, Voorhees Hall, room 105, which is located at 71 Hamilton Street in New Brunswick, New Jersey. We have a wide variety of films going to be screened, actually 21 that were selected from 366 entries from around the world. So you're going to see the creme de la creme. And our very first program will be on Saturday, June 4th. And we have a special, very special guest here, Gene Gallerano. He's the writer and the lead actor in this amazing film called Occupy Texas. Welcome.
Thank you.
So Gene, tell us how you got involved in making this film. What was the motivation for making it?
The motivation probably started with a conversation I was having with my mom. I asked her, I have three little sisters in real life, and I asked my mother what would happen in the event that something, would happen to you and my father. And she said, well, you're the oldest of the three little sisters, would be the one in charge of our other two sisters. And I thought, oh, that's kind of, I'm the oldest boy, that's kind of,
yeah,
that's a weird decision. It should be me.
Why not you? Yeah.
Well, then I went back to New York. We had this conversation in Texas. Went back to New York and back to whatever job I was working and trying to make it as the starving artist type. Hitting going on auditions and all of these things. And back to my apartment with my roommates. And I thought, oh yeah. My sister who's at home, who was a lawyer at the time, who's got a house there. That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
And so then I just started thinking about that. That was kind of an interesting thing. And also, at the time, I knew that I wanted, whatever the next thing that I wanted to write, I knew I wanted to write something about home and something about brothers and sisters. And I actually was working for this gentleman who was a big Occupy Wall Street protester. And now I didn't have a dog in the fight of that, but I would go with him every single weekend, and I was kind of observing it, and I kept thinking, like, what are these guys going to do when this is over? And of course, we know that the tents got bulldozed out and eventually, and I thought, wow, everyone's they're such fixtures of this scene right now, and it's a big deal, at least in New York.
Right.
And I just kept thinking, I just kept imagining, like, what happens when this happens? Where do they go? What are they going to do next? What's the next play for them? And so I kind of just put all of that together. And then,
yeah. I mean, for folks, if you need to know, Occupy Texas starts out in New York City, has some archival footage of the actual protests, and then we meet you, and your name is Bo in the film, and you're buried under some sleeping bags on the streets of New York, and your uncle has kind of found where you are because something dramatic has happened. Right. And that's what you were talking about before, which is that your parents, what happens if they pass away, and that's what happens, they're killed in a car accident, and now you have to go back to take care of your two sisters, as you find out once you get there. Tell us about the two sisters. Who are they?
Who are they in
real life?
And
what kind of...
The older sister, the character Claire, is played by Lorelei Linklater. It's her follow-up film to Boyhood, which was her father Richard Linklater's film. She's fantastic. She is kind of, she brings the dark cloud kind of anxiety of what might happen in that situation. And then the little sister, who is a 12-year-old in the film, character's name is Arden, and that's this girl, Catherine Elvire, who we found actually, who blind submitted to us in the very first round of auditions. And Jeff and I were watching, Jeff Berry is the director, and we both were watching all of the auditions separately so that we didn't, contaminate each other's choices. And we both had circled this girl, and we thought, man, there's something really special about her.
There really is something special.
She's got something.
I must say, the ensemble was terrific. You're a tour de force in the film. I think you really capture the essence of this man who has to make some major decisions. And you follow the transformation in this man who still stays true to himself. So mazel tov to you for a wonderful performance. But I thought the two gals also, there's an evolution in their performance too. They grow up with you while they're dealing with this dramatic event. And I was talking to you before about, what's it like to live in Texas? We're the liberal area in the Northeast, and Texas is quite opposite. And you do feel some of that in the film, you know, whether it be the administrators at the school where the girls are, or the kind of relationship you have with this other woman who's fooling around. Tell us a little bit more about how that ended up in the mix. Is it autobiographical or?
No. I mean, I fabricated all of it. I would say that there are a lot of names, and pretty much every location in the film is owned by someone I know. Like a series of my closest friends, their parents open their houses for us. That's my middle school.
Really?
My mother's law firm is in there. I mean, just every single place, I think, with the exception of maybe one, I had a personal connection to. So it's autobiographical in terms of almost. My mom makes 2 cameos. One of my little sisters is in it. One of my very first acting teachers in Texas plays the principal. So I had all of these people in mind in terms of a historical context for me.
Yeah.
But my parents are still alive. I have 3 sisters. You know, so.
But your film is a lot of fun. I think people get there and they will enjoy the film from beginning to end. I mean, I think our jury did that. I've seen your film a couple of times. I didn't get tired of it the second time. I saw things I didn't see the first time around. So I think in that respect, folks, when they come to our screening, will be entertained not only by terrific performances, but by amazing cinematography, excellent direction. So I'm looking forward to your screening.
Well, and hopefully it has a heightened nature to it within kind of the modern or our contemporary language. I mean, it's on purpose. It has its own kind of unique style. We like to say it's a hipper Uncle Buck, or in the Little Miss Sunshine vein, or You Can Count on Me, or something in that world. But yeah, everyone that shows up, it's got Reed Birney, who's in House of Cards, Perry Gilpin from Frasier, and Janine Turner from Northern Exposure and Cliffhanger, and all these things, and Lorelai and Catherine Elvira. I mean, she steals the show. She's so fantastic. But yeah, I like to think that it's a film that could speak to your 12-year-old daughter or your grandmother.
Or your grandmom, yeah, I agree. Well, folks, you've got to absolutely see this wonderful film, which is part of our opening evening. We have 3 short films prior. Mother's Day, which features Melissa Leo, Academy Award winner, film by Jeff Tan. Jeff Needs Ice Cream is a lot of fun, and I saw some connections to your film with that one. It's a guy who is abandoned in his apartment and well, I guess I can say this, smokes his roommate's weed and doesn't have any ice cream, so he goes out in a blizzard looking for ice cream. And then D.L. Fitzsimmons presents The Class Acts by Nicholas Stonehouse. Is also a wonderful film by a Jersey filmmaker. 3 short films. Occupy Texas is the feature. One low price of $12, general admission. There'll be free food courtesy of Jimmy John's of New Brunswick, and also free popcorn. So come on down and enjoy this wonderful program, and hope to see you there. More information at njfilmfest.com. And thanks so much for coming, Gene.
Thank you for having me. You should avoid anything that is of everyone's opinion. Copy?
Copy?
You cool for a sec?
You cool?
We'll see. Don't get kidnapped.
Don't sweat.